second thing is composition. Now in composition, there's a number of different elements that a lot of tutorials will go through. So there's a few things that I like to use leading lines. Now what leading lines are is they are lines, not physical lines, but you use the trees or you use the petals or you use the sky and to draw people's eyes in from the corners of the piece into the main focal area. That's called leading lines. And it helps to then from the focal area, helps your eye to move across out and move around the piece. Another thing is breathing room. So you need to have areas of space where the eye can go to relax, and so you're not constantly thinking about or looking at details, so you need to add some breathing room. There's other principles of composition, but one of the main ones that I like to use is something called the golden ratio. Now you might have heard the golden ratio in things like the Fibonacci sequence, and it's in nature all the time, but the way to use it in art is you want to place areas of interest or significant objects of your painting in the golden ratio. Now how do you do that? So you measure the width or the length depending on what you want to do. So say it's a landscape and you want to put the horizon on the golden ratio. You would measure the length of the piece, you would divide that by 1.618, and that will give you a number where if you put the horizon on that number, it just looks good. Now, so don't ask me why in nature it's like that, but it's just doing that math just looks good. And so going back to the same piece, the Out of the Wilderness, the tiger piece, if you measure the width and you divide that by 1.618, you'll get a figure which is directly in line with the eye of the tiger. And so I did that on purpose, and so if it was slightly to the left or slightly to the right, then the piece just wouldn't work as well as it does. And then so you've got the leading lines of the back of the tiger, and you've got the leading lines of the trees as well in that piece. So there's different elements of good composition. So you need to make sure that you have a sound composition for your piece for it to stand out.